As we'll begin right away with remarks from Coach Miller, and then we'll turn over to question and answer.
I want to bet. Needed to wear the belief hat in here for a second, but big. Proud, of our start tonight. Huge win. The energy in that first quarter was just terrific and what we've been looking for in this series. Vegas didn't go away, threw some punches there late in the second quarter. So once again, our start in the third quarter really got us back on track and set the tone for a huge home victory. Can't be more proud of how we played on both sides of the ball. AT's triple-double, DB's energy from the start was huge, but it was a team contribution. We got contributions from everyone. So excited, get a day off, get back to work, and looking forward to Game 4.
Curt, second row to your left. Go ahead.
All right, sorry about that. Hey, Curt. First of all, congrats on the win tonight. But looking at John Quill and how she established herself, it felt like she was really active in ducking in and finding dives to the rim. Was that an adjustment or something that she just felt out herself?
No, she was so physical tonight, demanded the basketball, active off the basketball in their rotations. You just saw a determined JJ the entire time, a physical JJ, and just determined. Just really, really impressive performance. And that came through some foul difficulties, not getting a ton of minutes in that first half. So just really proud of the way she played.
Curt, second row to your left.
Curt, Aces jumped out to a 9-2 lead to start the game, and then you called timeout, and you guys were able to go on a huge run from there. What was said during the timeout? What did that look like for the team?
Yeah, they threw the first punch. We didn't, we didn't have a great first 2 minutes, but we settled down. The team, the veterans, were talking to themselves before I even got into the huddle, going, "We're okay. We got to settle in." We made a couple plays, and the game settled in, and we were fine. But again, the message was we had to be ready to play coming out of that timeout, and the game settled in. But their confidence and their unwavering that they were okay to each other was important in that timeout. Try again, Lila.
Okay. Just how similar did that feel to Game 4 in the semifinals, with that energy, with your guys' backs against the wall in the elimination game? And what about this group and their mentality allows them to thrive in these moments?
Yeah, I just think that that's a gritty team. And when you tell them they can't do something, it's going to make them try even harder and compete like crazy. There's just so much pride in that locker room that we are who we are. And they thrive. They thrive when their back's against the wall, and they thrive when someone tells them they can't do something.
Curt, third row center.
Before the game, you had said that you hope that y'all forced the Aces to have a timeout. And I know you talked about it a little bit there, but were you in a way thankful for the way it unfolded and the fact that you got that second to say whatever you needed to say and for players to talk to each other? Like, what were you thinking? I know you just said that right before the game.
Yeah, I was frustrated, but not discouraged. We've been in that situation before. We're in our home building. We just needed to not lose contact with them before the game settled in. So just taking a deep breath. It's scary to take a timeout that quickly, knowing now that you have an 8-minute quarter without a timeout the rest of the quarter. But it was needed, and we gathered ourselves. And again, the veterans led through that huddle.
Curt, next question to your right.
Curt, Becky said when we talked to her after the game, you guys weren't doing a lot different, but you were doing it much harder. And I just, two things on that. One, did you agree with that assessment of it? And also, what is it? Is it continuity? Is it, beyond even just simple pride that allows this team to find the level where you score 105 here, you score 104 against Chicago with your backs against the wall?
Yeah, I agree with Becky's assessment. We did a lot of things better, harder, more determined. Now, obviously, we made some scheming adjustments on both sides of the ball that, I think, have helped us. But in common things, you're not going to go away from who you are and who you've been for over 40-plus games. But we did them better tonight with more confidence, with more pace, with more determination, and more physicality. We got in the paint tonight and flipped it back again. They were terrific from the arc in stretches, but we were winning the points in the paint battle. I don't know what we got to in Chicago, maybe 66, something 60. We were very much in that same ballpark again.
All right, everybody hang with us. I have a lot of questions here in the room. We're going to start the next four. Will be Kareem, Doug, Maggie, and Eden, and then we'll continue if we have time.
Hey, Curt.
Almost similar in the same vein. This morning when we were talking, you said you didn't necessarily hate the last two games, the first quarters, the last two games, but shots just weren't falling. Were those shots just falling tonight, or was that one of those tweaks to get better shots tonight?
Yeah, I thought certainly we made some shots, and when we were down 9-2, we had taken, our first two shots of the game were threes. And we talked about establishing the paint. Our first two shots were threes. So, I was on them early that we got to play inside out. And those threes will come and we will make our threes. But we've got to establish the paint. And we started to make shots, and we had a fantastic offensive first quarter. That's shot making, but I thought there was a determination after that timeout to get a better quality shot.
Curt, first row to your right.
Curt, first off, if you care to share, what was the bet that you were in the hat for?
Come on, I'm not going to share the bet, but belief, obviously, the big picture was that, we believe, and we don't care what anyone is saying. We're trying to block out that noise, and the word right now is belief.
And the second one, just how big was it to have Dawana have a game? I mean, she had struggled so much in the first two. To have 7, I think, in the first quarter, topped her total for the first two games.
Yeah, she's such a veteran, respected presence in our locker room. There's no secret that she has championship pedigree and has played on some great teams. And so we have a group that really looks up to her. So when she plays with energy, when she took on challenges that we asked her, and challenged her going into this game, and she took them head on and played with that energy and then played with, offensive efficiency, it just gives the rest of our crew so much confidence.
Curt, second row center.
Did Alyssa Thomas know about making history before they announced it in the arena? And what was her reaction to it when she did find out?
I don't honestly know, but with this group, they typically know as AT approaches triple-doubles or has a triple-double. Most of the time, our players know and have a good feel for that. So, but I don't know if AT knew it in the moment, if someone shared that with her. So I can't really give you that great answer.
Curt, third row center.
Yeah, Coach. I know toughness can be an overused word sometimes, but have you ever coached a tougher player than AT in your career?
No. And it's what's remarkable, you guys, is that's every day. She doesn't know how else to play. So if we're playing and we're not going 75% or we're not skeleton or we're not doing something 50%, if we're playing, that's how AT plays. And that's what's different. Hey, she's probably the toughest player I ever coached, but she's the most consistent player in terms of effort that I've ever been around. I know what I'm going to get every single day. That's how she plays. And that's what makes her special. She doesn't know how to play other than that way.
Curt, third row center.
Putting Dawana on Chelsea, what did you see in the previous two games, and what made you decide to do that this time?
Length. Chelsea Gray's numbers are historic right now on contested shots. So we're pleased going into tonight, 2 games, 27 of her 33 shots in this series had been contested. 27 contested shots. So we were staying in plays with her, trying to make them difficult, but she has an incredible release point and an incredible knack of scoring while contested. So we decided a little bit more length on her, and we knew everyone's going to guard her. Everyone's going to guard her tonight, but let's put some length on her.
Curt, standing to your right.
Coach, can you talk about the play of Jonquel Jones, particularly in that third quarter when you guys started to open up things a little bit and went on that little run there that got things going?
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily play calls that were exclusively for her. As I always say, players help themselves. JJ had determination to get catches. She was aggressive and active off the ball and made herself available to a secondary pass. I mean, we had 32 assists tonight, 32. And so, again, we were sharing the basketball. That's when we're at our best. And she played with energy in that third quarter and was terrific.
I know you touched on this.
Curt, third row to your left, Curt.
I know you touched on this a second ago with Alyssa Thomas, but when she records this triple-double within the flow of the offense, not trying to do too much and stays within your style of play, how does it make you feel as a coach?
We put the ball in her hands a lot tonight, and when things work as a coach, you feel really good that you push some right buttons. But she's so unselfish, and her and Candace are the two best facilitating forwards in the world, and it's just really fun to watch non-point guards share it. And tonight she just sprayed the ball around all night, and it was fantastic to watch.
Curt, fourth row to your left.
Hi, Curt. Earlier, before the game, you talked about balancing just being loose and having fun, and then also being disciplined. Can you talk about just what discipline you saw from your group, especially as the Aces kind of closed out the third quarter with some momentum and then heading into that fourth?
Yeah, I thought our group was poised through some of the punches back. We threw a couple knockouts in that first half, and all of a sudden it was an 11-point game. So there was poise coming out of halftime. There was poise during the runs in the second half. A maturity that even when they scored, they were confident with what we had planned and what we tried to scheme differently tonight. And they just stuck to it. And they stuck to the discipline even through some of those stretches where they were scoring. Sometimes you overreact and you lose some of your discipline because you get a little bit anxious that they're having success. We stayed disciplined and we stayed poised all night.
Just a quick follow-up. Can you talk about Alyssa Thomas specifically and kind of, the discipline she showed tonight?
Yeah, I mean, she was, very disruptive defensively, offensively. She played within herself. She looked for her own offense, but again, was so unselfish, spraying the ball around, which was so important. We put the ball in her hands a lot tonight.
We have time for just a couple more questions. One in the room. We're going to try to get to one on Zoom. Curt, third row center.
Hey, Curt. I'm just curious what this game represents for your team.
It's a good question. Toughness. A grit, a fight that we're not going to go away, that we're going to force Vegas to beat us. And it's just uncanny how much adversity this team's had. 2 ACL injuries, losing your leader in the locker room right off the bat for the third year in a row, have something that we have to pivot from. In adversity within our locker rooms, COVID, the passing of my mother, the daily grind that you deal with in a WNBA locker room, all the adversity that we have overcome to put ourselves in this position is just, I'm so proud of them that they just continue to have a grit and a fight and a determination about them.
All right, we're going to go to one question on Zoom. Steven, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, you guys had 32 assists on the 43 made field goals today. Can you just kind of speak to the pace of play and the patience in that in your read and react offense from today in the half court?
Yeah, again, we shared the ball terrifically tonight. We were aggressive in and out of actions. I thought we played with a better, more successful tempo tonight. I thought the ball stuck at times in games 1 and 2. We slowed down to a fault. And again, some of the physicality of our screens, but our tempo was better, which really contributed to the high assist totals.
Curt, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
To our media, our Connecticut players are here.